Spoiler alert! Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Soul Collector Shades 13 here, back with another video. And today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be ranking all of the Star Wars movies, from prequels to originals to the sequels, from my least favorite to my favorite. And just keep in mind, this is my personal opinion. And this list does count Solo, Rogue One, and the Clone Wars movie. So starting off my list at number 12 is Star Wars, the Clone Wars movie, simply because I've never watched it before. The end. And at number 11, I have Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This is because Attack of the Clones was not necessarily an awful movie. It was just really slow-paced, and it honestly feels like it didn't serve its purpose in the series, and the love story was kind of, Okay, so, yeah. Number 11, Attack of the Clones. And at number 10, I have The Last Jedi. This is because while it was a visually stunning and fun movie, it didn't do anything for the Skywalker saga. It kind of just honestly took away. It left a lot of questions unanswered and split fans 50-50 when it, one, made Rey completely all-powerful, and two, brought back Luke in a way that many Star Wars fans were not accepting of. At number 9, I have The Phantom Menace, and this is because, well, it overall was a pretty good movie, although there are some flaws in it that bring the movie down, and it's just one of those movies where the flaws, like the good parts of the movie, don't quite make up for the flaws, although the pod racing scene and the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul scene definitely stood out, and overall, it was not a bad movie. I forgot about you. So I have Solo at number 8, just because Solo is a fun movie, it's entertaining, and there's a lot of action. But there are some flaws that Star Wars fans might not be happy with, although overall, it's pretty good. At number 7, I have Rogue One, and this is because Rogue One was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It really did show some of the battles between the rebels and trying to get the Death Star plans, and the Vader scene at the end was just perfect. At number 6, I have The Force Awakens, and personally, I really did enjoy The Force Awakens. The only flaw with it is that it's almost an exact copy of A New Hope, but it's pretty entertaining. And I have now reached my top 5 Star Wars movies, and at number 5, I have Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi would be ranked higher, although really, looking back on it, some of the things didn't really age well, but it did make for some really iconic moments with Luke and Vader fighting over Palpatine and the Ewoks defeating the Empire. So, yeah. Number 4 is The Rise of Skywalker, and while some Star Wars fans may debate that it's not a good ending for the Skywalker saga, I disagree. I think I personally really enjoyed the movie, and although there were some questions that were left unanswered, I really think it was a pretty good way to end the series. And it is definitely the strongest movie of the sequels, in my opinion. One thing I would change if I directed this movie is I would make it at least an hour longer, because some parts did feel like they were just crammed in. And at number 3 is the original A New Hope. A New Hope is definitely one of the best Star Wars movies. of all time, in my opinion, and maybe even one of the best movies of all time. It's just the one that started it all, and even though the fight scene with Vader and Obi-Wan may be boring now, back then it was way different in 1977, and it was a huge hit. Number 2 is Revenge of the Sith. While it is almost certainly the strongest movie of the prequel series, Revenge of the Sith is also one of my favorite movies of all time, because it is just the emotion in the fight Anakin versus Obi-Wan. It has more lightsaber fights than any other movie, so much action. It's a good length, and it's a good way to end the prequel series. And it's just like Anakin versus Obi-Wan is one of the greatest fights of all time, and it's just a perfect way to show how Anakin went from a respected Jedi Knight to the feared Darth Vader. And finally, last but not least, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time and my favorite movie of all time is Empire Strikes Back. And there are good reasons for this. Overall, Empire Strikes Back is just regarded as one of the best movies of all time, and there's very much evidence to prove so. One, the fight with Luke and Vader just has so much emotion, just like in Return of the Jedi, and it's just overall a great movie. Luke's training with Yoda on Dagobah, you explore so much of the Star Wars universe in this movie, and one of the really revolutionary things about it was that in the end, the villain won. Vader was successful in the end of the movie, and that had really not happened before in cinema history. And you'd see that again in things like Avengers Infinity War, but Empire Strikes Back is just absolutely amazing and one of the greatest movies of all time. And that is my list for you all. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please leave a comment down in the comment section saying whether you agree with me or disagree. I'd like to hear feedback. And see ya all later.